King Xerxes of Persia hosted a grand feast to display his immense power. The palace was alive with music, lavish food, and the splendor of wealth. During the celebration, he summoned Queen Vashti to showcase her beauty before the nobles. However, Vashti refused to obey the king's command. Her defiance shocked the court. Angered and humiliated, Xerxes dismissed her from her position and decreed that a new queen would take her place. Among the many young women brought to the palace was Esther, an orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai. Esther's beauty and grace captured the king's heart, and she was crowned queen. Yet she kept her Jewish identity a secret, just as Mordecai had advised. Meanwhile, Haman, a powerful and arrogant official, demanded that everyone bow to him wherever he went. Most complied, but Mordecai refused to bow, standing firm in his faith. Enraged by this defiance, Haman devised a sinister plan, not only to destroy Mordecai, but to annihilate all the Jews in the empire. He manipulated King Xerxes into issuing a decree that sealed their fate. When Mordecai learned of this decree, he was devastated. He tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and mourned openly at the palace gates. Through a messenger, he urged Esther to speak to the king and plead for her people. But Esther hesitated. "If I approach the king without being summoned, I could be put to death. Do not think that you will escape, because you are in the king's house. Who knows, perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this," she said. Mordecai's response was clear and powerful. Moved by his words, Esther summoned her courage. She fasted for 3 days and then, dressed in her finest royal attire, approached the king unbidden. As she entered the throne room, the court held its breath. King Xerxes, surprised but moved by her presence, extended his golden scepter to her. Esther had won his favor once again. Esther invited the king and Haman to a private banquet. During the second banquet, she revealed her true identity and exposed Haman's wicked plot. The king was furious. Haman, desperate and trembling, begged Esther for his life, but his fate was sealed. Haman was executed, and Mordecai was elevated to his position of power. A new decree was issued, allowing the Jews to defend themselves against their enemies. When the day of reckoning came, the Jewish people prevailed. Across the empire, they celebrated their deliverance with joy and unity. Esther's story reminds us that courage and purpose often come with great risk. Who knows? Maybe you are alive in 2024 for such a time as this. The world needs change, and your actions could make all the difference. Dare to be courageous.
Type in the comment, "Thank you, Jesus."